So many of you guys have asked if I'm going to make a video about the Samsung Galaxy Fold, but I don't have one to make a video about. I guess I must be too much of an Apple fangirl, which I get it, but let's not forget, I do always have a second device that is an Android phone. And right now, my second device is the Samsung Galaxy S10. I did just finish up a video coming out this week with the S10 Plus and the S10e because I'd seen so many great reviews about the S10e that I really wanted to get one and try it out for myself. So look for that later this week. But the Samsung Galaxy Fold has had so much drama this past month that it's kind of shocking. So unfortunately, I did try to order one, but of course they pushed the release date further and further away because they had a small little problem. I'm sure most of you guys are already well aware that they had a lot of screen issues with the Fold, from debris kind of sneaking in between the screen, and then some people have tried to peel away the top screen in the middle. Although I feel like people aren't really that shocked that this phone was faulty. And it's weird because I feel like if Samsung would have done any kind of testing on this phone at all, they would have realized that there was a small issue. I just don't really get, like, you are a huge company, how could something like this go so terribly wrong? Like, if this was Apple and this happened, it would be such a huge deal. Not that this isn't a big deal, but I feel like everyone's just kind of giving Samsung a pass. Like, it's okay, you tried. We realized that your phones were exploding and blowing up in people's hands. That's all right. But if it was Apple, it would be a whole nother freaking story. Like, come on now. Even if you're an Android fan, like, you can't say that that's not the case because it definitely is. The one thing that I do applaud Samsung for is actually going through with this device and releasing it. But I feel like if they would have just maybe pushed the release date a little bit further, fixed the problems that they initially had, because there's no way that they knew that this was something that wasn't gonna become a widespread issue. Even if you tell someone to not peel up a screen, but if something is that simple that can completely render this phone useless, then I feel like you may have wanted to implement something before releasing it. One thing that I do even think that's great about Apple is they didn't release AirPower. I'm upset about it. I'm sad, I'm still bitter. I just don't know how to feel. I had a lot of emotions the day that they announced that they were canceling it, but they did cancel it. All of the reviews that I have seen, like, I am really excited to try this phone out because it is something that is different. And I feel like right now, most phones are pretty much the same. So for Samsung to take this completely new approach is really exciting, and it definitely is pushing the technology further because they tried, they failed, and hopefully the next version will be something that we can actually use. Again, this phone I don't think was ever meant to be a widespread phone. It is set at such a high price point that only people who are crazy, like most of us tech people and reviewers, and people who do love to have the latest and greatest and most expensive phone, those are the people that are gonna buy that. That phone is not something that is meant to be used by everyone. So setting that price high was already cutting out most of the general public. That still doesn't mean that you should have released something that you know was not gonna work. So either way, I just wanted to make like a super short video just talking about it with a few of my thoughts because it is something that I'm extremely excited to check out. Yes, I'm an Apple fan, but I appreciate technology. I appreciate anyone who is going to try to push technology further because I feel like this is going to be the future. This is going to be the next thing, folding phones, folding devices, because trying to take what we have now and make it smaller and compact is what everyone wants. We want bigger screens, but we want a smaller profile. How do you make that happen? You freaking fold it. So Samsung, I'm super excited to try this phone out. And I'm hoping that the changes that Samsung does make when they actually do release this phone will make this phone function properly. It's so hard to watch people's reviews of this phone because without actually having it or touching it and seeing it in person, it's hard to say what the display looks like, because one of the things that I did notice in a lot of these reviews is you could see that crease. I know Marquez mentioned this, that you see it in pictures and in video, but when you're actually holding it in front of you, it's not as noticeable. I would love to hear from you guys. Do you think that Samsung released this a little bit too early? What do you think would have happened if this was Apple that did this? I will see you guys in my next video, and be sure to look for my Samsung S10 Plus and S10e video that'll be out very shortly. In the meantime, I have nothing else to say, so I'll see you guys later.